What's up, you guys? There's some breaking news right now that I gotta break. Um, breaking news: the Earl Thomas wants to be the highest paid safety in the NFL. That was just reported by Bleacher.com, and Ian Rappaport reported that he wants to be the highest paid safety in the NFL, and he wants to he wants to get paid like a safety like Eric Berry, and he just reported it like a couple hours ago that the Cowboys met with them yesterday, met with his representatives and his agent yesterday. What kind of price they want from him? So, yeah, yeah. So that's the report. I'll be right back. Yeah, this breaking news that Earl Thomas wants to be paid like the highest paid safety in the NFL, just like Eric Berry. That's what I heard on Bleacher.com and Iron Rapper reported in and NFL Network. Yeah, it's kind of crazy though. He wants to be paid like a highest safety in history. Yeah, just trying to find my remote. I can't find it. I got it right here with it. Yeah, man, that's crazy. He wants to become the highest paid safety in the NFL. It's crazy though. Does he deserve to be highest paid safety? I think he does. He's a turnover machine. Even though with his injuries, he's a turnover machine. I think he deserves it. Let's see what up. Yeah, I'll be right back.
She likes being carrying like this one. Jason made the decision to not play football. And that was such a tough decision. I must really say he never totally bought into the idea of never playing again. He always knew that, boy, if not now, then maybe never more, and probably never more as a player. So his initial decision to go to the broadcast booth was a tough one for him and Michelle, his wife. So it was not surprising at all when he came in and he said, I want to play. I want to be, quote, back in the dirt. I don't think I've ever met a player
I
that
said,
really is
Cowboy Source, we have been busy with draft,
physical thing.
drafts. We have been busy with
Not take
draft
the easy
and the
way
free
out,
agent
what
meetings
Jason
in
Garrett
Indy.
wants
That
to do
includes
that makes
meeting
a
with
football
Ref
player.
with
That's what
Earl
he's
Thomas
about,
and Byron
and
Jones
that's what he
and
misses
Tank
the
Norris
most.
tonight and others too.
So can we call Jason Witten?
Mike Fisher reported that they've been busy.
Well, I think you can because he's obviously, and by the way, that's always been there. And it's always his style has been there. He is John Wayne. And he's John Wayne in our dressing room. He's John Wayne on the one-on-one drills in the end zone in the dark, rough days of two-a-days. So he's the real deal. And I like that for football. I like to think about that's what's going to be here in the future, whether it's on the field or coaching.
Terry, you have a real good football team. And you have five most important positions on your roster really taken care of. You have a quarterback. You have a pass rusher. You have a number one wideout. You have a corner. You have a left tackle. You have young players, and they're on the rise, and you guys are knocking on the door now in the NFC. What do you want Jason to bring as far as you talk about that John Wayne, what do you want him to teach these young guys to get them to where you've already been, which is to the promised land, to the Super Bowl? How do you see him kind of helping those guys in that way, even more so than what he was doing in football?
After a tough loss, we had a player that was going back and forth in the dressing room talking about how we weren't winners. We couldn't get it done when the time took. And Jason was sitting over there with his head down and so mad that we had lost. And he said, that's enough. We've all heard that. Sit down. And the player made one more trip down the dressing room. When he turned, Witten had him by the shoulder pads, shook him like a limp dog, and said, you hadn't been here long enough to earn this shit in the middle of all of this dressing room.
I like it.
Listen, you won 3 Super Bowls as an owner. You own the Dallas Cowboys. You have the stadium everybody's envious of. You're a Pro Football Hall of Famer. But the urgency to win a Super Bowl, because it's been so long since you won the last one, on a scale of 1 to 10, I know you're going to tell me 10, but I heard you talk about your own mortality, but is there a different urgency at this time in your life?
Well, that's an unfair question from you, Chris, because you've been with me from almost the first day I got into the NFL. And I go back to that because I had a little money when I bought the Cowboys, and I gave it all up to get to be involved in football. And I didn't give it up to make more money. I'm not here to make money. The money that I make goes back into the stadium and the football team and that type of thing. I'm not here but for one reason, and it's escaped me for all of these years, is to win another Super Bowl. And I've said this tongue-in-cheek, I'd be embarrassed to tell you if it would get it done, the size check that I might write to get a Super Bowl, but it just doesn't work that way.
Well, speaking of money, dollars, I'm going to mention some names. DeMarcus Lawrence is supposed to meet, or Steven or somebody is supposed to meet with his agent tomorrow, correct?
Right. We'll have our team meeting with him. Plus,
You only paid him $17.1 million last year, by the way. Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, Amari Cooper, Byron Jones. These are guys that are all going to be expecting a pretty good-sized paycheck over this year or next year. Are you ready to spend it? Can you spend it with the salary cap and all the players that you want under your roster?
yeah, you must have been looking over my shoulder this morning. Right as I got up, I had those same names. And I said, well, I could have just taken what I wrote down like before I went to bed, or my noon suit list that I'm making new. I got it on my mind. We'll figure it out.
Everybody's talking about that. What is Jerry Jones going to pay Dak Prescott? What do you feel about Dak Prescott relative to the rest of the quarterbacks back to where you said you would write that check, you'd be embarrassed about it, you get another Super Bowl. What do you think he needs to do for you?
If we were sitting here this afternoon and tomorrow, and he was out on that field getting ready to go in the draft as a quarterback, and I had the #1 pick, that's who'd get that pick in this draft. So that's what I think we're looking at, except we've had 3 years of really getting to know him. We're a fortunate franchise to have Dak Prescott, and we're going to build around him for the future.
What is it? What is it, Jerry, that makes him, that for you and this organization makes him the right guy?
The upside, his willingness to basically every drill improve, how he carries what he's coached up in a meeting, how he carries it to the practice field, and then how he executes it on the field. The thing that we do better, I think, almost than anybody, and I can say it, and we know it's an opinion, is the 2-minute drill. And we work at it. We'll look at Dak Prescott in 2-minute drills. Go back and look at all of our 2-minute times since he's been quarterback in the Dallas Cowboys. He's had repetition after repetition, practice that. We've just got to get him a lot of reps and comebacks. We've got to get him a lot of reps in bunches. We've got to get him a lot of reps going to town. And for a 3-year quarterback, he's had a lot of snaps and a lot of
What does it mean for the Cowboys that Witten came out of retirement and he's back in action?
Well, first of all, let me be very, very clear. Yesterday, when the news first came out on my radio show, because I was on the air live when the news came down, I was like, oh no, because to me, it elevates the Dallas Cowboys. Now, some folks will look at me and say, you're absolutely drunk. The last time we saw Jason Witten in 2017, he ranked 39th among 39th out of 94 tight ends in pro football. That was his ranking because of how inefficient he was. His yards per catch were under 10 yards, okay? You obviously knew he wasn't getting any yards after the catch because he moved slower than a snail with arthritis, and snails can't get arthritis. That's how bad, in terms of speed, that's how bad Jason Witten is. But the reason why I think it's a plus for the Dallas Cowboys, despite those deficiencies, is #1, who do you have here? You got Blake Jarwin. Listen, his last game of the regular season against the New York Giants, when he had 119 receiving yards, I mean, that was a good deal. But he only finished with 500-plus yards receiving on the year. He wasn't that great. And when you look at him, what are we talking about here? 27 receptions overall for the season, 35 targets. You look at him, Rico Gathers, Jeff Swain. I mean, when you look at their tight end spot, they just weren't very impressive, weren't very productive, ranked in like the 20s, like 20 or 21 or what have you. So I think with Jason Witten's presence alone will be an upgrade. I think his blocking will assist their running game. I think in short yardage situations, you'll see their ability to move the chain, particularly when you consider the fact that Dak Prescott ranks 3rd in terms of hitting targets from the tight end spot, 73%, or a little over 73%. I think the numbers, the two guys that did it better than him was like a Matt Ryan, and I forgot who was #2 on the list, but Dak Prescott was #3. So it helps him to have a tight end guy in short yardage situations to assist in moving the chains. I don't think you'll see Jason Witten put up big numbers, but I do think you'll see him be productive in those clutch situations, which will help Dak and help Zeke, and that is what I was alluding to.
And I think this is really all about leadership. I mean, listen, Witten can still, I think there is value, even when a guy can't get great separation and yards after catch. I mean, there's value for a guy, you know, he'll somehow move the chains. We can get it to him as a safety valve. There's value there, but that's not what this is about. I think this is about stability and veteran leadership in a Dallas Cowboys locker room. Guys, where we've seen news even recently, like, put it this way. There's like a quotient, I'm sure, that they need to keep their eye on. How often is Stephen A. Smith wearing a black cowboy hat and laughing on TV? You know, if that's happening, that means bad things are happening for the Cowboys. And what happened? Stephen A. Smith on a Monday has a cowboy hat cracking up on TV, and by Tuesday, Jason Witten's out of the booth and playing for the Cowboys again. These dudes need, the franchise needs that kind of steady hand and leadership in the locker room right now, because when you survey the landscape, assuming they can still have a dominant defense, considering what the pieces that they may be losing, offensive line check, running back check, wide out check, receiving core check, quarterback check, defense, it remains to be seen, but last year it's a big check. What's the issue? Well, maybe they just addressed it.
Yeah, really, when you look at this transaction, think big picture. Think about the importance of the 2019 season for everyone, starting at the very top of really the football hierarchy as it pertains to the team. Think about Jason Garrett's tenure in Dallas as it coming to an end. Dak Prescott trying to get a new contract. Ezekiel Elliott going to be getting a new contract here soon. Then move to the coaching staff ranks again. Let me go back to that. New offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. New quarterback coach in John Kitna. Why wouldn't you bring in a guy like Jason Witten, who essentially is going to be a de facto coach as far as helping this football team on the football field from an X and O standpoint, from a true play calling real-time standpoint. And then you already spoke about, both of you, Max and Stephen A., you both talked about the leadership part of it. This is really where Jason excels. The number one compliment that you could give any professional, whether it be early on in his career or late in his career, but particularly late in his career, when you know the athletic ability has started to decline, is when you call a guy a true pro. Clay Matthews, when I played for the Cleveland Browns, used to tell me that from day one when I walked through that building. Be a pro. You be a pro, everything else takes care of itself. That's what Jason Witten is. He's Mr. Cowboy. People will automatically respect him because he has instant credibility when he comes in there. And they have a young, impressionable roster that will look to him in situations of nutrition, preparation, recovery, big game performance, route running nuance, play calling nuance. There's nothing that he knows the game of football, and he knows it in real time. And he's one of those kind of guys who is best served being on the ground, playing the game, being around guys. And we know he may not be able to play it at the same level he did before. That's not even the point. They realize a guy who's 35 plus isn't going to be a great tight end anymore. But see, this is what the difference is when you're talking about separating playoff teams in particular, which this roster already is. What is the difference between being a playoff team, a wild card winner, and a Super Bowl winner? It's about leadership and chemistry, and Jason's going to help them with that.
Well, Lewis, I'm going to point to a couple of things. Number one, I think in a 4th-and-1 situation, I think if Jason Witten is on that team, you probably get a first down, whether it's play action and dip it to him for a few yards, or you got an additional blocker to help Ezekiel Elliott get that 1 yard they needed against the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional playoff game. And I get to your point about professionalism, but I have to ask this question. When you look at the tight ends that they have, mainly Jarwin, all right, and you expect a level of production. When you look at young guys like Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, who some were looking for it to be their team. I'm not talking about just on-field production. I'm talking about leadership in the locker room. Doesn't the potential exist for a Jason Witten to get in the way of that? Because even though he's a consummate professional, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, the love for him, taking care of a lifelong Cowboy, etc., etc., he's that guy with his relationship with upper management. But what about those relationships with players who wanted to be the leaders themselves? How much of an impact do you anticipate that having?
Yeah, it's a great question, but I think his style of leadership, Stephen A., is such that it's so selfless, it's so servant-oriented, meaning he's not coming in there trying to say, look, I'm the big dog. You just do what I tell you to do, and all of a sudden start suffocating the growth of everyone.
If you take it all in consideration, Stephen A., and you say, well, the Greek Freaks,
Did you see those highlights? Did you see the burst?
Yeah.
Did you see the spin?
What?
360?
Yeah. I like to burst my side laughing at how slow he's moving. If I don't see him making a major impact, if you look at him his last 3 years in which he played, he averaged under 10 yards a catch. And a tight end averaging under 10 yards a catch, that's not good. Your tight tight end should average a first down every time he touches the ball over the course of the season.
Did you see my tight ends last year?
Yo, what you call him came on good, Jarwin.
Oh, Blake Jarwin. Shannon Jarwin.
But it's Skip. I look at him. I can see him getting 30 to 40 catches. I believe his value will be more in the locker room than on the field. Because Skip, it wasn't like he was this dynamic playmaker over the last couple of years. I mean, the last season, I think he averaged, 10 yards a catch in 114. Last time he had a 5-yard receiving season was 2012. Skip, he's not the guy. He was never a burner. But he's even slowed down even way now. So for me, I'm looking at this signing and I'm like, and Cowboy Nation going, whoa, we got Witten back. Really? Dude had 5 touchdowns. I mean, averaged 8 yards a catch 1 year, 9 another year, 3 touchdowns. Skip, I just don't see him making the dramatic impact that everybody thinks he's going to. I mean, LC, I mean, they make it seem like it's Kelsey or George Kittle. He's not that. He's not. And I know you're happy when Cowboys do through 60 years. And I think he's like, this was totally my decision. What decision was it? I think what led to this decision still, playing in Dallas, Jason Witten has never ever had criticism. Never. But when you go from one genre to another, you just don't serve where you live or where you play. Everybody has a critique. And the thing about social media, Skip, people do not have a problem. Even when you're doing something really well, they will criticize you and point out when you don't. And I think the thing is that Jason did not perform as well as maybe even he thought he did. Yeah. But it was not his fault. You know who thought he was, Skip? Tony Romo. Because everybody saw how good Tony Romo was, better than everybody even thought he would be. And so the natural thing was, well, he played for Cowboys, he studied tape, he should be able to be just like Tony Romo. That's unfair. It's totally different. There's a reason why the majority of the color guys are either head coaches or quarterbacks. You look at Troy, you look at Ivory, you look at John Madden, you look at most of the guys, Tony Romo, Phil Simms, if you look at most of them, Skip, they were quarterbacks with the exception of college. College played receiver. And for me, I studied a lot of tape. I watched a lot of tape. But I didn't watch the tape. I feel very comfortable in saying this, that I didn't study the tape like John did. If I'm going to the line of scrimmage and I'm looking, okay, I look at the front. Now, this is what the front, okay, they're playing this front. They normally play this coverage because they're going to get down and distance this area of the field. Okay, now I don't really know. Now I'm saying this is what my mindset is. Okay, this is what I think they're gonna do. But I'm mainly looking at the triangle. I'm looking at the corner, the safety, and the linebacker on my side. I'm looking at that triangle. John can't just worry about that. He has to worry about the entire. He can't just worry about triangle. He has to worry about everything, and mainly about Derek Thomas putting a helmet in his back while reading coverage. And because Tony, what was Tony doing? He was calling the play before they were there. So they're gonna do this. You see, we Omaha, you run, you take to a run. Jason didn't have that, and the criticism. And when you're not used to criticism, it's not easy. Because I went and sat on the desk right after I got out of the football. I'm from rural South Georgia. I have a very parochial dialect. And when people was talking about I couldn't figure out, and I went to speech therapist, and I went to English, and I went to speech classes, and did speech patterns. And I have my book that I still go through every day. At the time, when I just came to the realization, I live there. I'm almost 40. The likelihood of me being able to articulate words like Mike Tirico or James Brown is not going to happen. Instead of me trying to be something I'm not, let me embrace who I am.
By the way, those two guys couldn't play pro football.
Exactly. So, and I'm saying, you know what? Instead of me trying to do all this, too, I'm never going to be teaching at words like these guys are. Let me embrace who I am. This is who I am. Accept it. And so I think that had a lot to do with Jason returning because of the criticism that he received. I don't see the big impact that you might have. Like I said, I haven't even said a word yet.
In fact, we're 20 minutes into the show and I still haven't spoken. Am I right? That's my watch. I never heard somebody.
That mic don't even work.
You are sure worked up about a move that you say will have no bearing on
the mic doesn't even work.
Huh?
That mic doesn't even work.
Skip, what do you think?
What was the question?
Yeah, I know the question.
So I I think you were telling me that the reason you struggled so mightily against me on this show is you didn't play quarterback when you weren't a head coach. Is that right?
No,
That's not it. The best point you made was the Tony Romo point. And I found it sad, actually, that Jason Witten's best friend in the whole world, Tony Romo, basically did in Jason Witten in his attempt to step into the hallowed spot in that booth on Monday Night Football on ESPN, because it was impossible for Jason Witten to measure up to his best friend. He was a sensation. He broke out. He became a superstar broadcaster virtually overnight because he was calling the plays that should happen. Again, I can't defend Jason. Frankly, he wasn't great. Can I just say that? He wasn't great. Right?
If you've been around this some of the greatest players people think it's easy to talk on camera, but it's not. Everybody can. Some of the greats couldn't do it, and there've been a lot of them that's tried. Just go back. I don't need to mention his name, but you go back and look at some of the greats that tried to talk on camera.
I can tell you a lot of couldn't talk on camera. Emmitt Smith was a great player, got a hard time on television. We can just keep going back to Dallas Cowboys. Big, famous guy. You got it. I worked with him on it. You're talking about Jerry Rice. First I think with Jerry Jones. He can't really.
No, Jerry's good. Jerry's good.
Yeah. Jerry Rice is good, not great. It's hard. Some people have a lot. Tony's just doing what he did every day, breaking down the film.
Yes.
You know, he's just blurting out what he saw. And he does have a good eye. Right?
Yes.
Okay, now back to the question. Yes, how much will you help? Okay, it's fair for you to bring up the fact his production declined by the year. We go down, 15, 16, 17, 2015, 16, 17. Down every year to career lows in 2017, obviously 2 years ago. Career low in targets, career low in catches, career low in yards, career low in catch rate. He wasn't that guy anymore, and I was going back and forth about this, but you guys kept going back and forth about who can win a race. Right now, you at your age versus him at his age, he's approaching in May age 37. I probably have to go with you. I probably would.
Oh, you probably broke down.
I probably would. Because in 2017, Jason's run after catch was like 0.00, right?
Wherever he caught it, that's where he gets
That
that.
was it. End of story. So, what can Jason Witten bring that wasn't there last year? I am here to submit to you that his greatest value is, and people don't want to study this or get into this because it seems minor, he's not just a good blocker, he's an all-time great tight end blocker. He is a technician of a blocker. He was an extra offensive lineman, built more like a guard at 6'6", 270. Yeah, well, I think he was 270. Yeah. Okay, not huge, but that technician. And trust me, hard-nosed. And the reason he was so popular, he was probably through those golden years with Romo, second most popular player on the team to Romo.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay? And it's because he's a tough guy, and he's going to fight, he's going to scratch, and he's going to overachieve. And
Remember the game against Philly? Yep. The helmet goes off.
Yep,
And
that's
he's still
it.
running down the field.
All right. So what did they miss last year? I think Zeke missed Jason Witten as the extra blocker in that line. I think they missed Jason Witten hugely that night right here in Los Angeles at the Coliseum when they couldn't get a yard, they couldn't get a half yard, they couldn't get an inch on 4th and 1, and Zeke got 50 total yards. And Zeke did post on Instagram yesterday, welcome back, coach. So they're looking at Jason as more of what you're talking about, a coach on the field, a coach in the tight end room, a coach in the locker room, a coach in the huddle occasionally. To me, he's just going to become another component in what was a tight end by committee last year, and I didn't love it. It was more by subcommittee, right?
Well, what do you think? Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, you said that Dak didn't have a reliable third down option. Okay, he comes back and he gets Maybe that's his bad.
I tweeted this yesterday, where he is adding some huge value. It's small but large. Is on third down, Shannon Sharp. If it's 3rd and 3, not 3rd and 8, but 3rd and 3, Jason Witten can go turn that big body into a shield, and he can wall off a safety or a linebacker.
Yes, he can.
And just box him out like basketball, right?
Yeah.
And if you and Dak trusts him, and Dak knows if he throws it up here, Jason will catch it. If you get it in his radius, it's not a huge radius, but he will catch what you get in his radius. So if he catches it for 4 yards, is that not move the chain? That moves the chain. So to your point, if you can give me 15 of those this year, that will work. I look at my rotation. You love Jeff Swain. He's not a bad blocker, but he's not Jason Witten.
And he's up, he's free.
He's a free agent. He was hurt in the last year. You love Blake Jarwin. They got the breakout game.
Blake came on good.
Yeah, what game was that? Oh, that was the game that didn't count at the Giants.
It did count.
In which he counted. They got 7 for 119. 3 touchdowns.
When was the last time Jason Witten had a game like
Didn't
that?
have a game like that, but Blake Jarwin will never again have.
Yeah, no, you don't say that. Don't say that short.
I'm sorry he won't. He's nice, but not. He's a walk-on. He's a free agent for Oklahoma State, right?
No, well, that might be coming out part.
They picked a kid in the 4th round named Dalton Schultz out of Stanford. Right? At the end of the year, you start to make some plays, some catches, so they will keep him. And then, of course, there's the immortal, Hall of Fame bound Rico Gathers.
Yeah, what happened
And I'm
to him?
afraid Rico is about to be gone. Right?
What happened to him? Skip that
I don't know. I use my basketball player and never could figure out how to play football.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he can catch it, man.
Jason, Tony Gonzalez was ruined his pass.
I guess they ruined it. So last year, Pro Football Focus ranked the best of these tight ends 39th among tight ends in production, just in their overall grade. Okay, 39th was Blake Jarwin of all NFL tight ends. You don't think Jason Witten will improve that a little bit?
I mean, what do you think? What Jason will be 30?
Okay, maybe, but I'll take 30 over 39, right?
At some point, you're gonna have to move on. Look, when I look at what he had an unbelievable career. Now I'm catching 11, 12,000 yards here. But he was really never the dynamic guy that you see with Kelsey, that can take the 10-yard route and go 50 for the touchdown. He's not a George Kittle. He's not one of these explosive tight ends.
Okay, I got it. But is he clutch? He's got clutch gene in him because I got to tell you, he has made some big catches in Cowboy history. Have they translated into NFC Championship games and Super Bowl? They have not. But he made big catch against the Giants. I'm going back 3 years ago on the goal line. It was a walk-off play. Romo hit him on a turn at the goal line, touchdown, ball game. And okay, he caught it and he scored it. Okay, so again, if you put him in that situation, he is going to make that play. I'm not sure Blake Jarwin's going to make that play because he's never had to make that play. Okay, and then against Detroit, one of the few playoff games they've won, you could say they stole that game.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, but against Detroit, Romo hit him over the middle. This is a huge play right here. This basically won the game. This was a third and forever play. Okay, it's clutch, and it was an option route.
Yes.
How many tight ends run option routes? Not many.
Yeah, all of them. But that's what he
Clutch. It was a big play. It won the game.
Yeah.
YouTube TV. Watch them.
All right, they're talking about Earl Thomas here.
They met with free agent safety Earl Thomas at the combine. He missed most of last season with a broken leg, but his old teammate, Mr. Sherman, said earlier this week that Thomas wants to be a Cowboy. So Shannon, do you think this will happen?
No. Sounds good on paper. 1 + 1 should equal 2. Cowboys need a safety. Earl Thomas will probably need a new team. But Skip, Earl Thomas made it abundantly clear. He wants to be compensated. He wants to be the highest paid safety in all of football, which is going to make it very difficult considering Dallas needs to get DeMarcus Lawrence, Zeke Elliott, Dak Prescott, Kamar Cooper. It's hard for me to envision a scenario where they're able to, because I look at Earl Thomas, he'd be a great addition, but I look at him as a luxury, not a necessity. The necessity is to re-sign your guys first. It's hard for me to believe, and he's made it abundantly clear he's not giving a hometown discount. The reason why he fell out of with Seattle is that he wanted long-term financial security. And he sees Eric Berry, who's the highest paid safety at $13 million, has basically played 2 to 3 games over the last 2 years.
True.
He's like, Brad, I'm not going to play for no $5 million a year. Eric Reed just got average is like 7.3 a year. And he sees Harrison Smith, he sees Malcolm Jenkins and Tony Jefferson. He sees all these guys making $8, $9, $10 million. Earl Thomas wants to get paid. And I get it. They're like, be happy, Earl. You will go to the Earl's like, that ain't trying to be no happy. I've won a Super Bowl. I played another. I've been an All-Pro. I've been a Pro Bowl player. Yeah. I just don't see how he fits, given his mindset of wanting to be the high-paid safety in all of football, given the Cowboys' needs that they already have on their own team that they need to fulfill. I just don't see. I just don't see it. And this notion, everybody want to play for the Cowboys. I do, if they pay it just like everybody else.
You're speaking for yourself, not for
No,
everybody
I'm speaking for Earl Thomas.
Yeah.
Earl Thomas ain't give you no discount.
So we just heard a whole lot of wishful thinking from Shannon Sharp because he dreads the prospect of Earl Thomas starting at safety for my Dallas Cowboys next year, just as you dreaded the prospect of him being a Cowboy over the second half of this past season. Am I right about that?
Yeah, it would change my outlook on the Cowboys.
Let's see, Jeff Heath, Earl Thomas, Xavier Woods, Earl Thomas, I think.
Jason Garrett, Bill Belichick, Jason Garrett. He's still your coach.
Yeah. I believe this is going to happen. I'm going to speak it into existence.
No.
I believed it was going to happen last year. My experience is when there are two people who want to make a deal, it usually gets made. It may take a while, but it's going to get made. And I believe that Earl Thomas's heart is in Dallas, Texas, because he's a little different, and that he came from the Beaumont, Port Arthur area of Texas. It's over on the coast, all the way to the other side. You know, it's Steven Jackson, it's Jimmy Johnson, it's Janis Joplin. Nobody knows who Janis Joplin is except me, but that's okay. Do you? Yeah, he's a legend. Legend. Yeah. The point is, he grew up wanting to be in Texas, a Dallas Cowboy. He went to the University of Texas wanting to be a Dallas Cowboy. He has made $56 million in his career. Not chump change.
No.
He was the 14th overall pick, and he got a pretty good deal. He got 11.2 out of that. He's made pretty decent money. He hasn't made Eric Berry money, but I believe that he and Jerry can figure this out.
How?
Because Jerry wants him, and he wants Jerry.
How did they figure it out, Skip? What do you want
We
to
just do. Maybe it's shorter term. Maybe it's just a 2-year deal.
No, he would know. Skip, he wanted long-term security from Seattle.
Okay, well maybe just to say I played for the Cowboys. Maybe you just.
No.
Okay, you're speaking for him.
No,
I think he's going to speak for himself.
I know
Jerry Jones.
Well, you know what? A lot of times I try to speak for the athlete because I try to get into their minds and tell you how they think, Skip Bayless. Because at the end of the day, I don't know if Earl Thomas is married or not, but mortgage companies don't care what you pay for. You pay your bills. Schools, private schools, you know. Oh,
He's made $56 million in his career. Is that did Shannon Sharp make $56 million?
No. Guess what?
Nope.
Jeff Bezos. If he working less, he worth $138 billion. If he working less, look at all these guys that make. When was the last time you heard somebody say, "Man, Jim, I got too much money. I wish you take some of this money off my hands. I don't know what to do." Child, people have too many pairs of shoes. They have clothing. They might have cars. Ain't nobody say, "Man, I got too much money." Man, I'm tired of all this money. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. They want more of it, Skip Bayless. And get last I checked. I'm just telling you this is what Earl's saying. I'm not saying this. I want to be the highest paid player. I'm not giving a hometown discount. That's what he said. I'm not saying that.
Here's what I'm going to say.
What you
Earl Thomas is going to turn 30 years of age in May. Earl Thomas, believe it or not, is Kyler Murray size. He's 5'10", 202, so he's actually a little smaller than Kyler Murray. Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
He's an eighth of an inch shorter and, who knows, but 5-ish pounds lighter.
Yeah.
He is a little man playing big safety, right?
Yeah, ask the Cowboy about it last year.
No,
You were one of the Cowboys?
took over the game.
Okay.
You know why? Because nobody plays harder. Nobody plays with a bigger heart than this little man. Nobody has better instincts. Nobody reacts quicker than Earl Thomas does in the secondary. He is tremendous. What do you say? He camouflages. He's makeup.
Yes.
He's right.
Yes.
You know, you can make mistakes, and all of a sudden he's there.
Out of nowhere.
He's there.
Yes.
He was there last year with Johnny on the spot. Oh, you blow a play, you don't catch a football, he's going to catch
You
it.
make a very good point. He's going to be 30. Last 2 years, he's had injuries.
Okay, time out. They weren't just injuries. He's had career-threatening twice. He has broken his leg twice. This is bad. And again, I've seen the video of him running on the track, but again, he's a little man playing a very dangerous sport at a high level of impact, right?
Right.
And he's broken his leg twice. Is there some risk involved here? Is there some?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know who he reminds you of, Skip? That was small, would light you up, but couldn't stay healthy? Bob Sanders from the Colts.
Oh, he did not deliver a blow.
Small guy. Played violently.
He did.
Crashing.
He played more violently than Earl.
Yes, yes. But it wasn't happening. He couldn't stay. The 1 year he stayed healthy, they won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But he couldn't stay healthy up until then, and he couldn't stay healthy after that.
Okay.
Now Earl is starting to have.
Okay, so Jerry Jones puts his arm around Earl and he says, let's think about this. We've had a couple of big injuries, so maybe I'll take a little risk and you take a little risk with me by taking a little less money, and let's go win a Super Bowl together. That silver-tongued devil.
First of all, I don't know if you have the pieces in place. First, with the head coach, and they're the most important position. I don't want to call it out the most important position. I just don't know if right now, if like you want Jerry to put his arms around Earl, I don't know if I can put my arms around the Cowboys in Super Bowl.
Who chased Jason Garrett up the tunnel and put his arm around Jason and said, I want to be a Cowboy?
Well, that was just trying to just like move the needle with you know, what you trying to do when you try to make somebody jump. You know, when you was in high school, the guy that you wanted to like talk to you and take you to the prom, you talk to maybe his best friend or somebody he be watching. You're like, oh, Jenny trying to boo over him, let me go ahead and make my...
I did actually do that.
I know.
Example.
Oh, Hallmark. Oh, Hall, call American Greeting, what, some kind of car, you know. Don't let her fool you. I know it's Skip Bayless. I know. Oh, Jenny Town.
No, she doesn't fool me at all.
No, you don't fool you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think, hey, look, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't want married. Her mom is married. She did not.
Oh, now she's mismarried?
Yeah, I feel bad.
She's for sure watching.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now the seat's up, but it's fine.
But you get what I'm saying, and that's all Earl.
I don't get what you're saying. I don't.
Watching.
Yeah.
He knew when he went up.
Well,
Jason.
okay.
Someone was filming that encounter.
What did the great Richard Sherman say a couple of days ago? He's going to be a Cowboy.
He
when
wants
Richard
to be.
speaks, I listen.
No, you don't. Since when? Since when?
That was sarcastic. But again, when Richard...
We have big news out of Indy and big news in Big D. Hi, everyone. Welcome to NFL Total Access. Alongside Lindsay Rhodes, I'm Scott Hansen.
Kyler Murray dominating combine headlines today for two reasons, Scott. One, his team announced that he does not intend to throw on Saturday, though he could change his mind. And two, he measured taller, heavier, and with a bigger hand than most people were expecting. 5'10" and an 8, 207 with a 9.5-inch hand. For context, let's take those one at a time. First, the height, 5'10" and an 8. It's still the shortest that a quarterback has measured at the combine since 2003. It's a half an inch shorter than Russell Wilson, who's the shortest quarterback in the league. But since some people were concerned that he would be a sub 5'10", it's a win for Kyler. As for
Yo, what's going on, Cowboys fans? It's your boy Foots here. Hey. So, I'm on my lunch break, and when you know it, there is more breaking news. All right, so from Marcus Lawrence's contract to Randy Gregory not leaving the weed alone to David Irving, who really didn't play last year. There's never a dull moment in Cowboy, man. And right now, the news of the day. Make sure you guys can see. There you go. I got this new Cowboys outfit. The news of the day right now is this, y'all. Jason Witten All right, old man Witt, old reliable Witt. Go sit down in the zone Witt. Go find the soft spot Witt, Mr. Red Zone Witt. He's coming out of retirement. And when I first heard this, I went on a rant on Twitter, and I was just like, wow, I had no idea. This doesn't make sense. $5 million, you just start immediately, your mind's like, I don't know if you've ever seen those movies where it's like, there's little people moving in your mind. You just go crazy. You really do. And I still, my thing is not to like, not to love, but it's to try to understand. That's what I try to do with any Cowboy move, with anything, is to try to understand. Well, I'm trying to figure out why. If in anything in life, if you can get to the why, then you can realize, it kind of makes sense to me. More or less, remove the emotion, let's get to the why. So, the why is, let's be honest, Jason Witten kind of sucked as a commentator. I mean, he did. It was bad. I was reading something where they said Jason Witten pulled a cat, Aaron Rodgers pulled a cat out of his head. I mean, it was other things. He said Rodgers was great after the catch. Or a quarterback. I mean, it was just a mess. I think he thought it would be easier than what it was. Got on ESPN with Booger McFarland, who that was a bad pair. Why does ESPN have an NCAA guy? Booger McFarland was NCAA. He was okay at best on that coverage, and that didn't make sense at all. So Jason Witten kind of bombed the ESPN thing. But let's not forget, this time, around draft time last year was when, he shocked us and went into early retirement. Segueing on to what this means for the Cowboys, let's kind of look back at Witten's production. So 600 yards, I think 69 catches, 70 catches, 2016, and in 2017, 500 yards. I think another 64 catches. Great. So Witten can still give you decent production. Now, between Swain, Goff, between Swain, Schultz, and Oklahoma State kid, can't think of his name right now, Jarwin, he could probably, those three can probably match his production, right? So you're bringing in Jason Witten to be an extension of a coach, but why not just make him a coach? I don't like them using a roster spot for Jason Witten. I really don't. The only reason why is because I still think that you need talent. But what does this tell me? Okay, so this tells me you're probably not going to sign Swain in free agency. I'm not mad at that. There was some news floating around, maybe at Eifert. Maybe you still draft a guy and develop too. But the Rico experiment is done. That's also what it tells me. It also tells me that Cole Beasley is probably going bye-bye. So that's kind of what we know now. What I don't know is, can Jason Witten still play? Okay, Cowboys fans, we got to be objective now. I love old man Witten. I love Jason Witten. I love everything about him. He's been a stand-up guy. He's been Mr. Cowboy. He's done everything right. He doesn't get hurt. So while you think about a guy like Sean Lee and the decision that he made on leave, I can honestly say Jason is Mr. Iron Man, all that. But he hasn't played football in a year. Think about Dez Bryant. He sat out half the year, gets a deal with New Orleans, goes to one practice, and is injured. It's not the same. Mind you, Dez was working out. Jason Witten has been in the booth, all right? So the most working out he's been doing, he's been working out his brain. He's been, Jason Witten, regardless of how he did on ESPN, he's one of the most smart, cerebral players that's ever played the game. So I'm not mad at Jason Witten for wanting to come back. I just don't know what he has left in the tank. He's not one of these Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez type athletes, type tight ends, to where he was in, those guys still look like they can play right now. Witt, that's not how he won. So he's never been a fast guy. I get the video about the Y option going around the internet and all that. That's cool. The problem is, does that put much stress on the defense, knowing that this is what Jason Witten gives you? You could probably blanket that coverage, and there's not much twitch left. There's just not much juice left. And so I hear this common misnomer, Jason Witten's a great blocker. He's going to be a great blocker. Is he? Go back and watch film. A lot of holding calls, a lot of offsides penalties. decent blocker, but wasn't that mid 2000 to late 2000 type blocker. You know, when Parcells drafted him, he just wasn't. Now he's a 16-year veteran. He's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer, but it just feels kind of charity to me, especially when the Cowboys mindset has been, right? We're gonna stay young. We're gonna draft. You know, we're gonna and I'll give you a prime example. My gut feeling on this is, I just don't know. But my gut feeling on Amari Cooper was, I love it. Instantly, go watch the video. It's on my homepage on YouTube. I loved us signing Amari Cooper. I really, really did. It just doesn't make sense. And so I'm still trying to figure out the why. And so those are some of the whys. Now, the big why is, and you hear Jason Witten, I want to help this team. And he's quoted, I want to help this team get to a championship. Okay, so here we go, guys. The Cowboys are all in. We know what time it is with Jason Garrett. He didn't get the extension. This leads me to my next point. Earl Thomas, he is on the way. Now, it's a year late. I knew they wouldn't sign him last year. I wanted to see what these safeties can do. I still think that X Woods is a good player. I want to upgrade Heath. I've been wanting to upgrade Heath all this offseason. Obviously, the Cowboys are in the market to draft a safety, but I think that they're going to make a play for Earl Thomas. It's just a matter of when and the number, but I believe that Earl Thomas will be a Cowboy. You hear Richard Sherman come out and say if Earl had to choose between San Fran and Dallas, it'd be Dallas. And the team is good. Like this team, I said it yesterday, I believe. This team isn't far. Defense is good, and now we're kind of tipping our hand to what we're going to do in the draft. I think that we are, for once, going to go high defensive line. Maybe a plugger. There's somebody who can be in that rotation and just sure up. Because I think this defense, seriously, this team, and we also, I know I'm jumping around, guys, just trying to get my thoughts out, but we also got to remember, we have a window that we got to capture. We got to capture Zeke's window, okay? And I believe Jason Garrett said, I went all in. He went all in. He bet on himself with Amari Cooper. It made sense. Maybe he knows something we don't know about Jason Witten. And now I'm 100% sure that the Dallas Cowboys are going to sign Earl Thomas. Like, Earl Thomas is going to the Dallas Cowboys. If not, come find this video, call me an idiot. But just really, we got to now know what Jason Witten has left in the tank. They're saying he's going to be on a play count. They're saying that, possibly he's got to come in as like a leadership coach type role. The problem that I have with that is, when Jason was supposed to be bringing along some of these tight ends, it had been reported that he wasn't the easiest to work with, didn't really want to give up reps, and I get that. He's a competitor. He doesn't want to get pushed out the back door, but, is he going to do it now? Is he going to be, that old ball player who just, I still got it, I can still do my thing? Or really, can he? Jason was never the fastest guy, but is the twitch still there? Can he move at all? Obviously, the Cowboys know something we don't. They made the signing. I think that Earl Thomas is on the way. You guys jump in here. Let me know what you guys think. Like it, love it, hate it. I'm somewhere in the middle between. All right, guys. It's your boy Cowboys. It's your boy Fitz the King doing this on the fly on my lunch break. But I got that Cowboy drop. But this one actually is crazy. I be working. I don't even trying to know that. I just got it last week. I reward it like 3 times. I watch it. Yeah. All right, Cowboys fans, this your boy Fitz the King as always. Like, share, subscribe. Follow the music. Follow the kids.
Free.
YouTube, how's it going? The Go House is back, and yes, I got another updated NFL mock draft. This one's going to be 3 rounds, but it feels like I just did a 2-round mock draft, but now that we're at the Combine here, now that a lot of teams are there, all the players are there, obviously, you're hearing a lot of news and rumors. Some of it's just smoke, some of it's, realistic. Last year, all this stuff kind of ended up being true for the most part. It's kind of surprising. So, there's a little bit of changes in my mock draft already because of what you hear, what there's to believe, and that kind of changes the entire mock. One pick, really, and there's multiple changes, but, one pick can change the entire mock draft. So I thought, why not? Let's get a 3-round mock draft in here right before the Combine starts. I'm really excited about the Combine. This year, real pumped. And you're going to want to follow our Twitter and keep track of us with the Combine here. So go ahead and follow it there. I'm going to be posting a lot of stuff about the Combine. And more than that, too, NFL rumors, all kinds, always talking on the Twitter. We have a new Instagram as well. Link in the description. Please give us a follow on both of those. It would be much appreciated. But like I said, yeah, this was kind of a last-minute thing. So I'm using this great new website, the Draft Network. Actually, it was not really a new site, but they have a new mock draft machine. So, shout out to these guys over there. This is a great and useful tool here for all of us that love the draft and want to cover the draft. So, didn't have time to put the graphics together, but it's okay. We got this. It's good to run through using this. We want to do a 3-round mock draft real quick. So, we're going to take a look here right off the bat. And I'm actually going to use, I started to whip up a big board just for this. I'm not 100% accurate in my rankings right now, but I knew I was doing a 3-round mock, so threw a bunch of guys in here. If you want to see my position rankings constantly being updated, there's a link in the description, a little info in the description for how you can see that. I usually don't release that so closer to the draft, but it's constantly being updated. But if you want to be a part of that, go check it out in the description. But starting with the Cardinals, from what we're hearing, we're kind of back to the Kyler Murray thing. Now, is it true? I've done a bunch of mock drafts already, and I haven't really bought into the whole Kyler Murray to the Cardinals thing. But there's a lot of sources that you can trust that really believe it. Same sources that thought Mayfield was going to win last year. You hear Adam Schefter talk about it too. The same guys that told him about Baker Mayfield. They're the ones saying Kyler Murray. He didn't really believe the Mayfield thing, even though he was born again. He didn't really believe it. He was all in for Darnold. So it's very interesting. And the one thing that I keep thinking of, and I see other people talking about, is this is Cliff Kingsbury really his one and only shot. I mean, he's going to have a couple years to try for the couple. They just fired Roach after 1 year, so you never really know. But, if it doesn't work out with the Cardinals, he's not doing another NFL job. So he's going to have his one shot. He's got his new style offense. And in his one and only shot, he wants to make sure that he's got it right. And I'm starting to buy it a little bit. Maybe I'm crazy. I haven't done one single mock draft with him but this is a mock draft kind of based off the news and rumors. I'm not buying every single one of them, but this is kind of based off this in the now. We're in the now right now, pre-combine. So let's do it. I haven't done one of these. I'm starting to buy into it a little bit. Scenarios. The whole draft changes is going to make that. Him coming in 5'10" does really help. Because I was starting buying into that, honestly, that those people saying that it's the next to him, he's 5'8" at best, which is ridiculous. He's 5'10", so that helps a lot. Other guys that have success in the NFL have been 5'10", it's not really a problem. It's not a problem for me. If he was 5'8", it would have been a little bit of a problem, but would I take him one? Probably not, but you think about Kingsbury's offense and his Cardinals offense and what defenses the defenses struggle against in today's NFL, then maybe I'll think about it, because I don't really want to play against Kyler Murray at all, honestly, in the NFL. All the defense coordinators, they're old school guys that have been running the defense for so long, a lot of them work. Some of the defense started to go away a little bit last year. And that's why they struggle on the offense, because they're not used to it. We almost need new defense coordinators stopping the new offense coordinators, really is what it is. But on the Niners. The Niners, from what I'm hearing, would love to have Nick Bosa, edge rusher from Ohio State. But he could still go one. Very possible he can go one still. But if Kyler Murray goes down, then they can get Nick Bosa. There's some rumors they could actually trade up to one spot. If the Cardinals don't really have, if maybe they do want Kyler Murray, they don't not really sold. There's not much of a difference between Nick Bosa, Josh Allen, and Craig Williams. They can trade back one spot. See if the Niners can pull that off. And what I've heard, they really like Nick Bosa. I can't always believe it, but I believe it. I think they really like Nick Bosa. I'm buying that. On to the Jets. Tough situation here. See, I made this big board. They already jumbled it up here. I love this website, but don't pay attention to that because it's already moving my guys into a rank where and it's not because guys are off the board. It's jumbling guys up there. It's jumbling because I don't have Cleveland Farrell. I have Quinn Lewis in my big board. So don't really pay attention to that. we'll get to those videos on my rankings and stuff in the future. But the Jets have two options here, Josh Allen and Quinn Williams. Apparently, I've been talking about how the Jets got Greg Williams for the defense coordinator, and I've been reporting that basically saying they should switch to a 4-3 because that's Greg Williams' defense. He's saying he's going to keep it to a 3-4, which I kind of like that because you don't want to have to retool the whole thing. You know, some of these don't know what you understand, but they're going to stick to a 3-4. They have players that fit that better. So it's really between Josh Allen, who would play outside linebacker, and Quinn Williams, who would play on the D line. And it's either one. It's one of those two for sure. The rumors are that they're trying to trade back actually for 3 and gain those picks they lost last year, which makes sense to me. Who would they move back for? Depends on how far back, but maybe they would move back for an offensive lineman like Jonah Williams, like Juwan Taylor. Maybe they would move back for a pass rusher that they think they can get a little further back. It's not too far off from Josh Allen, like his style, like a Jahai Polite, Brian Burns, Montez Sweat. So I'm not doing any trades in these mocks. I'll do that closer to the draft, a little closer. I'm not too far out here from those. But for now, between Josh Allen and Quinn Williams at pick 3, I'm going to put Josh Allen in there because they need pass rush from that outside linebacker position. And Josh Allen makes sense to me. Now on to the Raiders, and the Raiders get a no-brainer here. Quinn Williams sitting there. They're going to go ahead and take him. Best player available, no doubt, and immediate. Pretty easy there. The Bucs. Now this is tough. Bucs tough situation. They could go a number of things. They can go offensive line. They could go pass rush. They can go safety. Or they need a safety. They're not going to go safety at 5, so I got to correct myself there. I wouldn't rule them out in the Kyler Murray sweepstakes, but obviously he's off the board in this situation. They can go Cleveland Farrell. I think he can play the end spot. Perhaps for them, even like 3-4, and Oliver sit.
John! John!
We're bumping into everyone. Leave me alone.
I'll put your clothes under the bed. Ella! What is Emma clothes called? Evelyn! Evelyn, Emma's clothes? Oh! Oh! No, girl, here! Put it away! No, you're gonna lose it! We're just picking everyone's money!
Sorry, guys. This is a mock draft.
They're supposed to keep Gerald McCoy, so he's going to play the end spot in 3-4. He's going to finish like no, so it could be another end. I'm kind of wondering what Jason Pierre-Paul's going to do. This defense obviously a very talented guy. So they can go in a number of things here. Very appealing with Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver,
do a
my
mock
best
draft
player available at this point.
If I get a laptop,
What?
do a mock draft
great
on
site thing
on
kinda
YouTube
messed
and
up
you?
my-
One
it
draft,
jumbled up my
a
rankings
mock
somehow,
draft
and
for your
then
team.
which probably happens based off what I'm
They
drafting.
do college football?
So don't really pay attention to too much.
No,
They're in the
these are like
ballpark.
college
These guys are in
football
the
players that are
ballpark.
going to the draft. These guys doing one on YouTube.
They can go in a
I might
number
do
of
it
these things here.
Maybe.
Ed Oliver would be.
This is all NFL teams that were
I would
that pick
strongly
college
consider
players
it. I
to win
think,
a mock draft.
offensive line was
This
a
guy
problem
sounds
last
good.
year. On the right side, you got a couple free
He's
agents.
big, he's huge.
That's why.
He weighs 240 pounds.
I just look at his name, he sounds like a big dude.
He's black.
I know.
Juwan Taylor's my best offensive lineman, but I think he's going to play on the right side. So I'm going down, looking at a guy like Jonah Williams. I think in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and say they would take him. Maybe a little bit of reach. Some people are higher in here, some people are a little lower. The league is too. There's people in the league that think he's a top pick. He could go to the Jets at 3, he can go to the Bucs at 5. Come in and play tackle right away. He played left tackle for Alabama. There's some people who are like, well, we want to move him to guard. I think he'd be better at guard. There's actually some people that say he could play center at the next level. The Bucs could use a left tackle. Really, I'd say Juwan Taylor is the best offensive lineman at this point, but he's more of a fit at right tackle. Jonah Williams can potentially play left tackle right away. Gut feeling, Ed Oliver is my best player available, and Cleveland Farrell would be next for me. Gut feeling was, in this situation, from what we're hearing here, I think Jonah Williams would be the pick. We have the Giants next. Giants, I got the feel, from what we're hearing, I got the feel they like Dwayne Haskins. They're going to go Dwayne Haskins if he's there. I think he's going to be the number one quarterback on their board. Even if Kyler Murray's there. So I just don't think Kyler Murray fits Shermer's offense. I just don't. So I really think they go Dwayne Haskins. They're letting Eli teach them some things too. So I think they're in the running for Nick Foles still. It's definitely a possibility. I just think this team that's on the clock now, the Jags. I think they're more in the running for a guy like Nick Foles. So they don't go quarterback here. I think we have another offensive lineman off the board, another going back to Juwan Taylor. They got to make sure this offensive line is good for Nick Foles. Kind of like how the Eagles did it. They don't really have too many other huge needs. They could use a receiver as well, but I don't think they take a receiver at 7. So got them going to Juwan Taylor. And then we got the Lions picking at 8. A number of things here too. I think they'll like T.J. Hawkinson, safe tight ends, can do it all. Be a great pick. Cleveland Farrell, I think he'll fit. It really comes in Ed Oliver. They'll like Ed Oliver. He's the best player available at this point. They're pretty set. I think they could use another one, but I think they're more looking at edge rushers. They need one if they even get Ziggy Ansah back. I don't know if they get Ziggy Ansah back. So they're going to be looking at, in this situation, Cleveland Farrell, Rashawn Gary, Ja'Kai Polite, Brian Burns. Just something tells me that Patricia would love to work with a guy like Rashawn Gary. And people bash him because of his production. They go look up, they go type in Rashawn Gary, and they see how many sacks he has. And that's just not the way to go. Hasn't had the most production. There's a couple, he has legitimate excuses. He did have an injury this year. Nobody's really too worried about the injury going forward. But if you literally go watch him, if you go watch tape, not highlights, not, you go watch play after play after play, he will actually be double, and I've seen triple teams a lot. You can go watch the Michigan Ohio State game when he was able to play, and you see double and triple teams. It's unreal. He's an athletic guy. I think worst case scenario here. I think Patricia developed him into a defensive end for the line. But worst case scenario, they kick him in inside, and he can start at the inside position. So he can do multiple things. That's what some teams are looking for. A lot of teams are looking for. We heard the interview with Gruden. He said he's looking for production from that spot. But then right after he said that, he said off of if they're single team, what happens if they're double team? He said that right away. So who did I picture right when he said that? It was Rashawn Gary. He doesn't have the production, but then he's also double and triple team. Everybody's different. I think Patricia would like to work with him. It's just a gut feeling at this point. The Bills at 9, very tough. 2 guys here that come in mind. 3 guys actually, because Ed Oliver's still on the board. They could use him in the interior D line. They may have missed on the Tulane. They paid him a lot of money, but they paid him that money because they believe in him. I believe in him too. I think he's going to be pretty good. They drafted Harrison Phillips last year. He has a chance to be good, but you could definitely get better with him out. QB best needs to be
Alright guys, I'm gonna do a mock draft in like a couple of weeks, so been on for 78 minutes.
pretty bad. From what I'm hearing, the receivers aren't supposed to go as high as you think, really. So 9's pretty high. I think after you guys see them run,